Hey, what is up, class? This is Professor Ely. We are in week two. Um, so we got week two, 5 weeks. So we've got 4 more weeks left of this class. It should go by breezy. Hold on one sec. Alexa, lights. Okay, that's better. Sorry, it was dark in here. But anyway, I wanted to just go over what we are doing for the week, kind of update you, make sure that everything goes according to plan. So if you don't mind, I'm going to uh, share my screen real quick. I'm just setting things up over here. Probably should have did this before. Um, I logged on, but what are you gonna do, right? Okay. Okay, cool. So go to my other screen, share the screen. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, there we go. All right. So let me just kind of show you what's going on my end. So you guys are my internet class. So again, what we want to do every time we log on to this thing, the first place we are always going to go is assignments, because assignments is going to show you what's coming up. So this is how assignments look on the teacher end. Let me show you. Let me go to student view so I can see what you guys see. Okay, so right now you have a discussion coming up on the president's power or lack thereof. You've got a discussion quiz coming up, week two quiz. And then your final paper, that's not due until the end of class, but it's been posted now. So let's look at that real quick. So I've given you guys a bunch of different choices you can do for your APA style question. All of these papers are going to be 2.5 pages to 5 pages long. All right. So the directions read, I'm not going to read the directions of every single paper, but the generic directions read, these are your essay choices for your final paper. Essay choices, meaning you do not have to write every single essay. So make sure you just write one good essay. All right. Please choose one to write an APA style paper that is 2.5 to 5 pages. This does not include the title page or the reference page, right? There will be a very strict APA rules that must be followed in order to receive an A. Please refer to the videos in my example paper to ensure that you submit a quality paper. This paper, it says it'll be due on August 6th. So I just obviously recycled this assignment. So I'm going to go in and change the directions. The paper is due November the 8th, which is the last day of class. I think it's actually due a couple days before that. So here's how the paper is going to work, though. If you do the paper, if you turn it, as long as you turn it into me like a week before the last day of class, I can read over it. And if you need any corrections, I can give you the corrections to make, and you can make the corrections and receive a higher grade. I normally don't do this when I have on-campus classes because it's usually a conflict of interest for an instructor to kind of to be grading a student's paper and like letting them correct and stuff like that. For English class, it's different, but for a social science class, you usually want to get another set of eyes to look at that paper. um, and also a lot of students don't have access to campus right now. So I don't mind proofreading the paper, giving you corrections to make, and then allowing you to make the corrections. But it's got to be done with ample notice. You can't do it on the very last day of class. The last day of class, whatever you turn in, even if it's like 2 days before class ends, whatever you turn in is going to be your grade. Because I got other things that are going to be due that day, as far as like other classes, assignments, because I have another class that's going to end for another district right around that time. I think it's about 2 classes maybe, and that's a lot of grading. So I can't be proofreading y'all stuff when I got other people's things I got to grade. All right. So again, I'm going to go into Canvas and change this due date. It is November the 8th is the absolute last day I'll be able to accept that assignment. And it'll probably be due the first couple of days before that. So let's leave that. And let's go to the modules real quick. So one of the more annoying questions that I got last week, I don't call any question dumb in the academic setting, because if you don't know the answer to the question and you have a legitimate concern and want to know the answer, it is my job to give you the answer. I don't mind doing that. But there are certain questions that do get on my nerves a little bit more than others. So when someone asks me, where's the material for the class? You obviously, if you're asking me that, you obviously have not read the syllabus. You haven't watched my syllabus review video. Everything is in the modules. So week 1 materials was in the modules, week 2 materials in the modules, okay? So that's how that goes. So make sure that you know this. This is the basic, bare essential thing that you got to know about the class, is where the material is at. Because I mean, if you don't know that, then what the hell are any of us doing, right? So know that, okay? And hopefully I don't get that particular question again. Yeah. So this is week 2. It's not a lot of stuff in here. It's just about public opinion and the roles of media in politics. So I say all that stuff to kind of let you know what an opinion is in this class, so you can kind of go about your daily lives. An opinion is simply what you think about something. You back your opinions up with measurable facts in an academic setting. And even still, it doesn't necessarily make your opinion a fact, right? Let me just give you an example. If I say Kobe Bryant is the greatest basketball player of all time, it's a fact. No, I'm joking. That's the Laker in me talking, the Laker fan in me talking. But if I say Kobe Bryant is the greatest basketball player of all time, and then somebody else says LeBron James is the greatest, or Michael Jordan is the greatest, those are opinions, because you can kind of make arguments for each 3 of those people and not necessarily be wrong. If you were just judging by the basis of who's got the most NBA rings, then Michael Jordan would be the person with the most NBA rings, but it doesn't necessarily make him the greatest of all time, unless just that's just your criteria for presenting the argument. So I say all that to say when it, because in the cognitive dissonance discussion, I saw a couple people, because cognitive dissonance, as you guys know who completed the discussion, and if you didn't complete this week's discussion, shame on you. Make sure you complete the next week's discussion, week two's discussion, complete this week's discussion, so you don't get a zero again. But one of the cognitive dissonance is two complete right. Both of them can be simultaneously right, but you have discomfort, mental discomfort coming to terms with what you should do or what you need to do. So for me, when I was 286 pounds, like this was back in the day, I haven't been that big in a long time. But when I was 286 pounds, I knew there was a problem, but I worked a job that I hated. So the easiest thing for me to do was when I came home from working my 9 to 5, throw back a few beers, eat a box of donuts, eat a ton of junk food, whatever, chili dogs, pizza, whatever there was to eat, I would just eat it. The problem with that is eating all that junk food is bad, and I know it's bad for me. But the other problem with it is also the junk food makes me feel good. Drinking beer after work makes me feel good because you had a long day, and when you get to go home and gorge out on food and drink beer and whatever, it's like a really just calming feeling. But it's the bad thing for you to do. So in my head, I'm like, okay, eating junk food and drinking beer, that feels good. That feels really good. It comforts me, whatever. But then the other part of my brain is like, well, this is bad for me because after, I eat all this stuff, I don't necessarily feel the greatest, but in the moment, I feel the greatest. So those thoughts kind of have to fight with each other. The one thought could be, okay, um, I can start rationalizing it and saying, yeah, this junk food is bad for me, but other things are bad for you, and who cares? I'm just gonna eat what I want, even if it gives me diabetes, you know, whatever disease I can get from overeating. You only live once, so who cares? I can do that, or I can say, yeah, I need to probably lose some weight. I should probably jump on a treadmill, probably hit the weights, lose some weight, and kind of get myself back to a place where I need to be at. So you can resolve the dissonance in either way. In politics, there's always going to be a ton of dissonance. That's what the purpose of that episode of Different World was with Kim. Her thing wasn't as easy as my decision was to make, because my decision was an easy decision to make. Lose weight so I can live longer and be more comfortable. That for me, that was an easy decision. But when it came to accepting the scholarship money for Kim Reese on A Different World, she had to think about a lot of different things. And then Julian, he was on a pretty big high horse. And then the other students that went to that meeting had to kind of talk him down off that high horse and be like, look, man, students need scholarship money. And yeah, this Orange Glow company isn't the greatest thing on the planet, but with all the bad that they're doing in South Africa, they also do a lot of good as far as getting students through school and, the scholarship money and all that good stuff, right? So sometimes those thoughts, there's no easy answers to them. So when we got into the discussions, I saw a lot of good cognitive dissonance posts. People were talking about their habits with smoking. The people were talking about their. Some of you guys had food issues like me. Some of you guys, were talking about family members that you had to cut off. It was very, very good discussions. Some people were talking about the vaccine. So again, here it is. In the scholastic setting, we define a fact as something that can be backed up by science or by law. If it can't be backed up by science or law, it is not a fact in the scholastic setting. So I heard some people had dissonance and they went ahead and got the vaccine because they felt it was just the best thing to do. Then I heard some folks saying that they got religious exemptions, didn't get the vaccine, and are glad they didn't, and whatever. And my thing isn't, look, I'm teaching online this semester, so I'm not around a bunch of unvaccinated people yet. Maybe next semester I'll get a class on campus. But I say all of that to say, the I don't want anybody treating the vaccine like it's a bad thing. I would be less of an instructor. I wouldn't be a good instructor if I didn't tell you guys that. The vaccine is what it is. Different people are going to react differently to it, but the testing of it, it's gone through all the rigorous scientific experiments before it made it to the market. This virus has been a problem for a while. It's just COVID-19 kind of exploded and became a pandemic. But as far as anti-vax, not vaccine, it's not a bad thing to get the vaccine. I don't think that dissonance is necessarily needed to make the decision to get the vaccine, because it wouldn't be on the market if it didn't get CDC approval, FDA approval, and all that stuff. So I had to get that out there. But you guys are going to do what you want to do. And again, I'm teaching online, so I don't necessarily have to worry about being around a bunch of anti-vax people. But just as as an instructor and somebody that wants you guys to thrive, unless you have like a serious medical condition to where you just can't get the vaccine, I would want you to get the vaccine. And we'll talk more about the First Amendment and the Bill of Rights and all that good stuff next week. We're talking about the presidential powers. We're going to get into some First Amendment discussion. It'll be a good time. And I appreciate all the openness. The only way you didn't get the full points on this discussion is if you didn't give a good initial post and if your responses were weak. Some of you guys, I gave a warning saying, hey, next week, do a better discussion post. But if you don't do a good discussion post this week, I'm talking about a good first discussion and good solid responses to classmates. Because if you're not doing that, we're not having classroom interaction. And even in the online setting, that classroom interaction is vital to your success, and it's vital to my success as well. Because if I'm teaching you this stuff and you just forget it as soon as the semester gets out, then I'm not doing my job appropriately. Some stuff that I teach in this class should resonate. At least I hope it does. But anyway, I've taken up enough of your time, so let me exit my full screen. Yeah, stop share. Yeah. So and I'm not of the do your own research camp either, because I don't trust people to do their own research unless they are in a classroom setting, because then there's rules to how you conduct your research. So for this research paper, there are rules to it, right? You don't just find the most random bullshit research you could find and present that as fact. In this class, I can't do it the way I would if you guys were on campus class, but I will show you the ins and outs of research, so you'll do a good job with it on this paper. So I'll probably do that next week. Look at my example paper once I post it up. If you got any questions, call, text, email me, and I will catch you all next week. I'm recording this video at like 11 a.m. So it's probably, you guys are probably not watching this until 2 p.m. or maybe even the next day. But anyway, that's all I got to say. I'm really gone this time. Okay. So peace out and have a good rest of your day.